Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Chicago Treasurer's Office and our exciting new presentation, MMI, or the Money Matters Institute. We are very excited about this initiative. I'm Dana Eubanks with the Chicago Treasurer's Office, and we are thrilled that you are joining us this afternoon. The mission of MMI is to empower all Chicagoans with the knowledge and the skills needed to make informed financial decisions to build wealth today for tomorrow. MMI is a 3-session series of programs through webinars and workshops, now through November. On today's session, we will be talking about budgeting and saving. This workshop will teach you how to prioritize spending and start saving effectively regardless of your income. We can all save money. That's while learning practical skills for improving your money mindset and around budgeting and saving. Throughout the presentation, please feel free to post your questions in the chat. At the end of the presentation, we will respond to your questions. We are honored to have our educational partner, the Chicago-Ervin League, to begin this conversation. Pam Stalling is Vice President of the Chicago-Ervin League Housing and Financial Empowerment Center, and Pam will be presenting budgeting and saving. Pam, welcome to MMI, and thank you so much for joining us.
Great. Thank you so much, Dana. I am so glad to bring the most sexiest part of financial literacy, budgeting and budgeting and savings. I know a lot of people don't realize, but this is really the beginning of everything to all your financial needs is budgeting and savings. Thank you. Our mission here at Chicago-Ervin League is that the Chicago-Ervin League works for economic, educational, and social progress for African Americans, and we promote strong, sustainable communities through advocacy, collaboration such as this, and innovation. In Chicago-Ervin League, we have different departments, and the department that I am vice president of is Housing and Financial Empowerment Center. We are HUD-approved housing counseling organization. We provide different workshops as well as one-on-one counseling. So our workshops consist of financial budgeting credit, non-delinquency post-purchase workshops, pre-purchase home buying education workshops, as well as rental housing workshops, resolving, preventing mortgage delinquency workshops, as well as wealth building. Now, our counseling versus coaching, definitely we provide it for financial management budgeting, for mortgage delinquency, pre-purchase, as well as rental housing counseling. So these are all the services that we provide for free 99. We are all HUD certified counselors. Again, my name is Pamela Stalling. I'm the Vice President of the Housing and Financial Empowerment Center. Then we have Cynthia Jordan Hubbard. She's the Director of Housing and our foreclosure counselor. Deirdre Beaver, she specializes in rental counseling. And Pamela Gilbert and Evalie Serrano, they are both pre-purchase and financial coaches, but we are all HUD certified. So let's get right into it. Let's look at budgeting. We want to make your money work for you. So at times, managing your funds can be extremely overwhelming. I always hear that adage, that I don't have enough money to budget. Well, if you are unfamiliar with how to make money work for you, it is important that you start where you are and with what you know about your finances. If you're not doing so already, you should get into the practice of reviewing your income for the month and a form of budgeting to manage your money. A budget is your wallet's best friend, as it helps you prepare for any expected or unexpected expenses that may arise within the month. You think if your budget is as accountability monitor. So that is exactly what lets you know where you're at. So it has to be your best friend. What is a budget? Sometimes I like to call budget spending plan because spending plans sometimes seem a little bit more easier than budget. So for this for this purpose, we're just going to stick to budgeting. But a budget is an estimate of income and a review of your money spent over a specific term. Essentially, a budget is a plan accounting for every dollar you bring in each month to ensure you do not run out of money for your daily expenses. Remember, budget starts with you creating an emergency fund, which you can grow by managing your fixed expenses and your variables. So, first, let's look at fixed versus variables. Fixed expenses. So, after you create your savings goal, the next thing is to consider your budget is allocating funds from your fixed and variable expenses. Fixed expenses are those monthly costs that do not change and are set amount, and that are set amount paid month to month. The fixed expenses can include the following examples, such as rent and your mortgage, that can be fixed. It's the same amount. Insurance, you can pay that quarterly or monthly. Student loans repayment plans, there are paid monthly. And then sometimes taxes, especially if you're self employed. Variable expenses. Variable expenses that change from month to month depending on the different factors like the amount you're using the service or your personal needs. For instance, variable expenses may include utility bills, child care, credit card bills, or personal items. And I always like to look at variable expenses as groceries because I always say if mama need a new dress, we may be just eating peanut butter and jelly that week. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Savings account. So, savings account. A savings account is a bank account that lets you store your money securely while typically earning interest. So, I always refer to Nerd Wallet because there's different accounts that you can typically earn interest, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So, establishing a savings account. Many people discuss having a savings account, but most unfamiliar with why it isn't to have one or how to create a savings goal. This is usually because there is not an understanding of why they're saving for. So when I save money, or when I open up an account, I always have a purpose because I want to know, okay, I'm saving money, but I need to have an end goal. So we always need to think about we want to save for vacation. So open up an account for vacation. Christmas, Christmas club account. I have a Christmas club account. Christmas comes every year at the same time. I always want to make sure I have enough expenses for Christmas time. So therefore, I don't go over my budget. But to be honest, without having a savings account, life events can set you behind if an unexpected expenses arise. That's why you are unprepared to pay. Your savings account will be an aid needed to cover those types of costs. So think about it. If you have a flat tire, do you have to charge to get a tire? Or do you have that set amount of emergency savings set aside for if something happens? Then it's not going to get you off beat. Budgeting systems. So each person will have their own approach or system for creating their budgets. There are few systems to help you separate and pay your expenses, which include the 50-30-20 budget and the envelope system. So some people are familiar with the 50-30-20 and the envelope system. I think my grandmother used to use the envelope system because I know when we had to go pay bills and I went with her, she would always have the exact amount in that system. So whether you believe it or not, that still works. So let's look at the 50-30-20 budgeting system. The 80-30 budget means you will spend 50% of your net income on necessities. So, what is your net income? That is money that you can spend. So your gross amount is what's on your check, and that's before taxes, but after taxes is your net income. So you can spend that on necessities. 30% are your wants. So we're not saying that you can't do anything. You got to save all your money. And then 20% of your net income on savings and your debt repayment. For example, your net income is 2,500. Your necessity equals up to 1,250. Now, my wants equals up to 750. Now, when I'm repaying my student loan or putting into my savings, that equals to 500. So that is where my money is going to. So I just don't throw up my bills and say, okay, whoever land first, get paid first. No, I have a system of how I'm going to manage all of what I'm budgeting for. Now, let's look at the envelope budgeting system. The envelope system allows you to physically take out the money for the specific bills. It is a simple process where you write the expense category on the envelope like groceries or student loans and add up the cash into the envelope and set it aside to pay for the expenses. This budgeting system may be familiar to families who have applied this system over the years. Remember, I told you, I really remember my grandma doing this prior to the digital apps being available to easily assist in managing your budget. So now, remember, I said long ago, physically you could do the budget. Now, because of the apps, we can use those apps in the same way. We can just call them envelopes. So, managing and tracking your budget. So, one day we all of a sudden on a budget. No, that's not how it happens. Budget, you establish a budget over months and months, and then there's seasons. I'll give you an example. My budget is a little different during the holiday season than during the summertime. We eat out more in the summertime, but during the holiday winter months, I buy more groceries. So I do factor that. So once you begin to budget and get into the habit, you will see that every month you don't spend the same, so you can adjust your budget. Now, you have created your budget with a savings plan. So remember, a part of putting together my budget includes savings. So I have a line item of savings. I always have to have, like, you cannot start a budget without saving. If you're saving $10, if you're saving 25, if you're saving 100, whatever it is, you have to put that. That's a part of your budget. You have been feeling on top of your game and you're ready to apply your plan, but how will you manage and track your progress? There are several budgeting apps that are available that are free or low cost that will help you keep accountability for your spending habits. And these include Digit, Truebill, Albert, and Good Budget. And then also, if you have an account with your bank automatically gives you those some type of budgeting. They'll let you know how you have spent more on gas or how much you have spent on groceries. So, helpful budgeting apps, Albert. It is a mobile app that allows you to have a checking account, save and invest in all places. If you need cash before you pay, you can request in advance for up to 100 through Albert app. There's no late fees, interest rate, or credit checks needed. You can also start investing and build a diverse portfolio with as little as $1. Now, let's look at Good Budget. Good Budget is a budgeting tracking app based on the envelope budgeting method for you. Remember, we talked about the envelope method? This app helps you plan your spending instead of just tracking your spending, because I think the problem we get confused is, okay, we write something down and that's a budget. That's that's a step in budgeting. Remember, we not only have to write it down and track it, but we have to also remember what we're spending. But remember, it allows you to think and share your budget with your family and friends. Now that's up to you. That's up to you totally if you want to share that information with someone else. You can also create a budget, save for big purchases, and pay off your debt amongst other budgeting options. There is a free option available and a plus option with a fee. I think it's still $7 or just maybe $60 a year. But remember, for the best home budgeting apps for Android, iPhone, web is Good Budget. That has been my experience. Now, digits. Now, I think I use digits. Yes, I think I do use digits and Good Budget. And so sometimes I can sync them together. So some things I can keep, but I can't use all of them because um they have different purposes. But digit manage your money in the background while you focus on present priorities. It calculates wise amounts to invest and save based on your income each month. Digit reviews your spending habits, helps you balance your finances, and moves money daily to your savings to help you reach your short or long term goals. So if it see that I have some money sitting there, guess what? It's gonna send it out, and I'm gonna be like, well, wait a minute. But it really helps. When you sign up for a new account, the first 30 days is free. Afterwards, these fees can range anywhere from $1.99 to $5 per month, but it depends on how much you use it and what you're using it for. So it varies. True Bill is an app that helps you manage your expenses, spending habits, and it negotiates lower billing rates for variable expenses that appear to be overpriced. There's a monthly subscription fee of $7 per month, but the takeaway is worth it based on your income. You can set a budget that helps your meet your monthly goals, and that's True Bill. So there are obstacles when trying to save money. Why? Because we simply don't know. There's just a lack of financial literacy. Growing up, you may have had lack of financial management skills, and this has affected ways in which you manage your money today as an adult. What is the saying? When we know better, we do better. So if you've never seen an adult in your life when you were younger manage their debt, then at some point as you grow up, you have to figure it out. And then simply not budgeting. And a lot of people say, well, I don't budget. I don't have enough to budget. Well, whatever you have, yes, you do. You can budget. Most budget for big expenses, but often we forget about budget for small day-to-day expenses. When I ask you guys, okay, send me your budget, you give me 3 items. I'm like, no, not just the rent or the utilities. I need to know where every penny goes. And I always tell my clients, maybe you need to think about budgeting zero. What does zero mean? You budget every penny and you know where every penny goes and not let anything just sit in your account. When you finish paying everything, then you put that money to savings. So let's look. If you do not map out a plan, so if we plan to fail, that means our plan fails. Then you are risking losing than gaining. Creating a budget helps you save money and be more mindful of your financial habits. So, if you really don't want to know what you're doing, then just really don't budget or really don't look at what you use on your bank card. Because when I ask you, because I'm going to help you budget, I'm going to say, well, let me look at your bank statement and see what you're doing because it's not adding up. Then I see McDonald's, then I see Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, well, let's still add those in and let's put in a number and then let's stick to that budget. And then you'll begin to realize, you know what, I can save because I just found you $25 that week. Then you have to look at your spending habits. Sometimes you face financial obstacles based on your spending habits. items that are not considered important. So just the things I just said. So you don't think a cup of coffee is that important, but when I start adding it up, you will see how important it is. Spending without being mindful, you're just not mindful of what you're spending your money on. And that could lead to lack of finances needed to pay for your day to day. You can end up overspending because you're really not knowing and understanding where your money is going, because sometimes you have automatic withdrawals for different things, and then that could really mess you up. So let's extinguish some old myths about saving money. Again, I don't earn enough to save. Whatever you have, you can save. Know that. I do not have to consider saving for retirement right now. I'm young. Truth be told, the younger you start, the more you will end up. And I really want our young adults to understand, the sooner you start, the more you will have. It is not worth saving money if I can't save a small amount. It is not worth saving money if I can only save a small amount. Remember, small amounts add up. Small amounts add up. And once you start saving and you see that it's growing, it's going to become addictive and you're going to want to save more. So don't think that, oh, I can only save $10. Guess what? That $10 is going to grow and grow. And you're going to be like, well, if I could save 10, I could save 20. And then you're going to go from 20 to 50. Then you're going to go from 50 to 100, and it's going to grow. And then there's my spouse or partner manages our finances, so I don't have to worry about saving money. I trust them. Well, just make sure and know that in that budgeting process, or whoever's managing your expenses, make sure you are budgeting for savings, however that works for you, because that does happen. You also want to change your relationship to money. If you are like most people living paycheck to paycheck, saving money feels almost impossible. Bills feel like anxiety increasing for each month, adding to your negative thoughts about money. Historically, going back to your family connection to money, maybe you have grown to a negative association of money, such as money is the root of all evil. No, if you read the passages before and after, it really means that money is not the root. It is the love of money is the root of all evil. Having a savings account is for people of wealth, not for the working class. Well, sometimes those people sometimes those people of wealth could have been working class, but there are a lot of working class people that spend most money. Wealthy people keep their money, and working class, we spend it because we don't realize that we can save. However, if you want to change your relationship with money, the first thing is to change your perspective from having a lack of mindset to one of gain. Everywhere, I'm sorry, believe that whatever you are financially, you can grow from saving money to staying focused, setting a goal, and being committed to seeing this goal into fruition. So, savings account. Let's look at the different savings accounts. Savings account is a bank account that lets you store your money securely while you're typically earning interest. Next one is, think of your savings account as a safety net for life unexpected events. A medical procedure, a car accident, family emergency, home repairs. You should aim to establish a certain kind of goal. You should aim to establish a specific goal in mind for your savings account. When reviewing your income, see how you can adjust so that you can set aside each month towards your savings goal. establishing savings goals. So let's talk a little bit about that. When it comes to saving money, the first thing to keep in mind is having a goal. Remember, I said we really need to think about, okay, I'm going to open up a savings account. Okay, why are you opening that savings account? And then how much do you want to save in that account? And how long is it going to take you to save? So please know that your savings goals are unique to your needs only. Do not compare your savings goal to somebody else's because their needs are not your needs. So you may want to start to consider having a savings account for the following reasons. Save for an emergency fund. So when you're thinking about, okay, emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of my living expenses. So we're not saying you got to have $3,000 in there. But what we're saying is if it costs you to live on a monthly basis $1,000, then you need to start anywhere from your goal in that account is to have anything between 3,000 to 6,000 just sitting there for emergency purposes. What happens? Your job may fold or something happens and you can't work anymore. You need to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses. What happened when we had the pandemic? Were you prepared? Save for an immediate need. So you may need to get a new car. You may need to get renovations for your home, etc. Save to start for a new business. It's a personal investment. And then you're going to need to know how much and how long is it going to take you. So you got to do the math. You want to save for vacation you've always wanted to go on, and that's a personal investment. So figure it out. And then if it's going to take you 2 years to get to that goal, then make it happen. But if you don't start somewhere, it will never happen. And also, most importantly, save for retirement. That's that long term goal. Life goes on after work. And how do you want to enjoy it? You may not have even thought about retirement, but it's whatever age you're at, you need to start thinking about it. And then you need to start doing the numbers. So if you don't write things down and you don't do the math, then that's not part of establishing goals. That's just writing stuff down. You got to do the math with your savings goals. So, short term and long term goals. So, example for short term, a small phone repair, travel, emergency. Remember, say you're saving your living expenses up to 3 to 6 months, a wedding or family event, maybe a family reunion, or just renovation for your car or home. Your long term goals are your retirement. Depending on what age your child is, a mortgage down payment, a new car, or for a business. These are short and long-term goals. So these are all good reasons to start saving. Now, let's look at the types of savings accounts. So there's standard savings account, there's high yield savings account, there's money market, there's a certificate of deposit, cash management, and specialty savings accounts. Let's take a look at them and see. So the different types of savings account, a standard saving account. This is the basic saving account you probably have because of where over the years. A standard saving account is a basic saving account that allows you to deposit money, make withdrawals, and earn interest. The savings accounts may have low interest rates. The natural annual percentage rate yield for a standard savings account is 0.06. So really, you're not gaining a whole lot. It's just safe and secure. For example, you save 1,000 with a standard savings account. Your interest by the end of the year will be 60 cents. So that's not a high yield. So that's just letting you know that there is a little something there, but not a lot. So let's look at the high yield savings. A high yield savings account, more than the national average percentage yield, is of a standard savings of 0.06 APY, at least 20 to 25 times that average standard savings APY rate. A high yield savings interest rates can range anywhere from 0.2 or 0.4%. So that same $1,000, Your interest ends at the end of the year of 0.2, which could lead to an interest of $2, thus saving 1,002. By the end of the year, you've gained what, $2? So let's look at money market accounts. This is an interest bearing account at the bank or credit union. It pays higher interest rates than the standard savings account. A money market account comes with restrictions such as maintaining a minimum amount in the account to ensure a higher interest rate. This type of savings account allows the account holder to have a debit card or check writing options. Money market accounts are insured by the FDIC and the interest is taxable. So this is where you would need to go into your bank or credit union and get more information. Let's look at a CD. A CD is a type of savings account with restrictions, with restricted time limit and interest rate. A CD has a higher interest rate on savings, but it does not allow the account holder to access the funds until the term has ended. You will have guaranteed returns, and in a way, it saves you from being tempted to touch your funds prematurely. So, this is going to make you say, because guess what? If you take it out, you're going to be penalized. Let's look at cash management. A cash management saving account provides the flexibility of a checking account where you can access your funds without penalties and enjoy a high interest rate like those of a CD account. It combines your checking and savings and an investment account into one. So remember, for these, that cash management, you would have to talk to that banking institution or a financial advisor to get that started. Now let's look at specialty savings account. This type of account is for a specific goal, usually a long-term goal. So if you want to save for a down payment on your future home, save for your child's college tuition, or maybe even save for emergency, this may be a savings account for you. Remember, there's Christmas Club account. Some banks have where you put your money in, and they may have a certain amount you can put in, and then you do gain interest on it. But in October, normally that's how mine's work. It gets released, and then I'm able to take care of all my Christmas shopping and take advantage of all the sales. So those are for certain ones. And you can even, I think they even have one for vacation. So when you look at all of this, you want to review your finances. You really want to be honest with yourself. But once you have made that commitment to save and review the types of savings accounts available to you, you can start to see how much you are able to save. For example, Roberta has gross yearly 25,000. She gets paid biweekly twice a month, so it's 26 weeks out of the year. She lives in New York State where her income is taxable is 21%. Her biweekly gross, so she brings home 961.53, which makes her net pay that 759.61 per pay, which equals to 1519.22 per month. After calculating her expenses, 111, she finds that she has about 420 remaining. This is considered her discretionary income. Okay. After breaking down 420 into 4 weeks, she finds she has 105 for herself each week. Although her budget is tight, she commits to saving $10 per pay. So that's 2 times per month, her discretionary money. By the end of the year, Roberta has saved 520. 26 biweekly pay periods of $20 equal 520. This is a huge improvement compared to last year where Roberta did not save any money. So remember we said that $10, it does add up. It's a start. So these are some common saving apps. Digit, manage money in the background while you focus on your present priorities, saving money into an automatic savings account. You can start that 30-day free trial. Fees after the trial ranges from $2.99 to $5. Acorn, invest the change. Acorn app allows each customer to grow their money by providing checking, investments, retirement accounts with a monthly fee of $1 to $5. You can start off with a small amount to add towards your financial goals. I think I have that too. I got a lot of stuff going on. And Intuit or Mint is a free budgeting app that helps you save money at any financial level. It provides you with a budgeting and bill payment tracker, giving you saving tips on where to cut expenses. So, the most important lesson is to find a savings and budgeting system that works for you and be consistent with with to reach each of your financial goals. Don't forget to contact Chicago Urban League Housing and Financial Empowerment Center for your free financial counseling session. And remember, it is free 99.
Thank you so much, Pam. That was very, very, very helpful. If there were three things you wanted to advise people to do, what would you say that's most important to get you started? Because if you, like you said, I'm uncomfortable saving, I'm uncomfortable budgeting. How do you get your clients started with your one-on-one financial counseling?
So first of all, they really have to go through the financial counseling because nothing for budgeting or saving is a cookie cutter because everybody income is different and everybody's priority is different. So the very first thing is to come and do the one-on-one counseling session. So you got to fill out the information packet as well as give us those documents that we're going to need. So the documents we're going to need would be first your check stub because we want to see what your net and gross is because everybody's net and gross is different. We also want to look at your bank statement. So we're going to ask for your check or your income, whatever income you're getting for that month. So your income, we're going to ask for your bank statement. We're going to also ask you to pull your own credit because we're not going to do it and we don't want to be considered a hard pull. So we want you to make sure you bring your most current credit report and your credit score. And it could be Credit Karma because what we're doing is we're just looking to see if, in fact, we can help you increase your credit score. Like we can just give you some tips and some just real quick tips will just to pay down your debt. And then that's where that budgeting comes in. So I don't know if that was three quick tips, but at least if you want to start with just doing that counseling session, I can't express that because there's no cookie cutter. It's not like you do this first, you do this first, you do this first. You may be in a pickle where you can't do any of that. So we can't just say, do this, do this, do this. Everybody is different. Everybody's income, everybody's issue is different. So the main thing is to come for that one-on-one counseling session.
Thank you so much. And we know that you guys provide that one-on-one counseling. We are so grateful to you. Because everyone should understand they should not pay for someone to help you manage your debt or to fix your credit or any of that. The service is free. And through the Money Matters Institute, with partnerships like yours with the Urban League, you have the financial counselors, as you shared with us, that can help people get through that on your own personal journey, personal and confidential. There is a note that we received that the Intuit Mint was purchased by Credit Karma and is no longer free and no longer provides the same services we got that. So we want to share that disclaimer. And then we also want to encourage you to, we just found that. Isaiah says, thank you. And then we wanted to say, we got more information. Step 1 of the Money Matters Institute program is continuing this Thursday with Pam and Chase Bank. It's going to be this Thursday. It's an in-person workshop. So if you're like, I just need to talk to somebody about this, they will be right there in person at the Chicago Urban League headquarters, which is at 4510 South Michigan Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. It is Thursday session will kick off at 6:00 p.m. We invite you to join us. It again is free of charge. And as Pam said, free 99. And that topic again is going to be budget and save. This is how we do Money Matters Institute. Tuesday is the webinar for those who want to be able to watch online, and then you can come out to talk about the same topic with our partners in person at the in-person workshop. You'll have the chance to sign up for that one-on-one personal free confidential credit counseling that Pam just talked about. The counselors will be there. And if you haven't done so, this is a great opportunity to get personalized guidance. Even if you missed anything during today's virtual session, and Pam, thank you so much for a great job. Don't worry, you'll receive the same valuable information and have the chance to engage with our knowledgeable speakers on site on Thursday. And this is also going to replay on social media as well. So we really appreciate that. So thank you so much, Pam. We really appreciate all that all of you do all the time. As we conclude, please look into the chat box. You'll see a link to complete your Money Matters Institute survey. Don't forget, you can also again join us this Thursday, May 23rd at 6:00 p.m. for our in-person workshop at the Chicago Urban League. And spread the word, please. Bring a friend. You know somebody else is trying to figure this out. Say, come with me. They will be there to help you, and we can talk through all of it. You can talk to the Urban League. You can talk to Chase. The banks are not there to sell you anything. They're literally there because they have an education component. They want us to understand how to make our money work for us. All right? So thank you again to you, Pam. We really appreciate all that you do. Pam is the Vice President of Chicago Urban League Housing and Financial Empowerment Center. Please complete the survey to help us better serve you, and be sure to follow us online and in person at the MMI, Money Matters Institute, webinars and in-person workshops. And next, after Thursday, join us for our next upcoming MMI webinar, Tuesday, June 4th, when we will be talking about good debt versus bad debt with CUL and TransUnion, the credit bureau. And there is such a thing as good debt, your house, versus bad debt. It's something maybe you shouldn't exploit. Or you just set aside, as Pam said, in your spending plan. Thank you so much for joining us, Pam. Thank you so much again. We look forward to seeing you Thursday. We look forward to seeing you Thursday in person as well. We appreciate your joining us for this webinar for the Money Matters Institute. Thank you and have a great day.